I'm gonna mark them. So this is a signature paper that you would have signed when your baby got admitted here. But by homecoming, we just need you to sign it today, okay? So basically, this is saying, that's my two top sheets. No, I have to get them.
Where is the frequently asked questions?
That's what I'm looking for, sweetheart.
Okay.
So basically, this is what it is. So that top sheet is just saying how much it is per day for your child to be here.
But I don't consent to her being here. That's the problem.
So are you going to refuse to sign the paperwork? I'm just going through the paperwork because basically that's what that is.
But I don't consent to her being here.
Okay.
I didn't admit her. I don't know why I don't know why or how she was admitted, and I want to get her out. Like she's not supposed to be here. I don't know why she's here.
Okay, so basically I'm gonna just let you know basically this whole package consider you about billing.
Right.
So I mean if you can sign it.
Can I look at it? Can I look at it?
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I just thought yeah. Because if you don't sign these legal, I have to make a copy.
Is she here on a rehab program?
No, she's not.
Is she here on a court order?
She's here on commitment papers.
Who signed the commitment? Where's the commitment paper?
The commitment papers is with legal now.
Is where?
With legal.
Where is that department?
Legal is in a whole nother building on another campus.
Can you write down the address to that?
You can't go there.
Can you at least write down the phone number?
Yeah, I mean, I can call her on the phone if you like.
That'd be great. Thank you. Does she have a counselor?
No, sir. She's supposed to be at Brian. She's telling me, Miss Washington? She'll be at Brian. I can transfer you to Brian. No, you call Hall. Hold on 1 second for me. Okay. What you were saying, ma'am? I'm sorry. You want to wait or you want to come back? Oh, okay. I'm about to say you can come back.
Huh?
I have to call somebody really quick and I'll be right back.
Okay. receiver's list.
Hey.
Hi, are
Hey.
you her doctor?
Well, I'm Dr. Fox. I'm the clinical services director
Can we
here.
sit down?
So, yeah, we absolutely.
Okay. Please explain to me what's going on. Do you want to see my ID?
No, I trust that.
You can see she looks just like me.
I do see the resemblance.
Okay.
All right.
So what's going on?
So the situation is with South Carolina law. Age of consent for any kind of medical, psychiatric, anything is actually 16. And if they refuse to give consent, we cannot by law release any information about any patient, even to family members.
Okay.
Okay? So it's just it's a quirk in our law.
I don't understand how she can have consent to refuse to release information. Can she consent to get herself out of here? Can she take herself out of here? Can she check herself out?
Depends on how she comes in.
Okay.
So we have both voluntary and involuntary status. Okay, so in some cases, some people come in involuntary.
Right. How is she here on an involuntary status? Oh, that's what I don't understand.
Well, again, so I have to sort of tread lightly because by law, I can't share specifics of all the things that went on. Okay, so suffice to say that we got an application based on she was seen somewhere. She was seen by a physician at some point who deemed it necessary for her to come to us, and so that application then gets looked at by several different people, and it is a legal document, goes through our probate court and things like that. So then she gets, that's how.
Is the probate court document public record?
I would imagine it would be. To be honest, I don't know though. I would imagine it would be.
Where's the location of that court?
They do everything for us. They do everything for online now because of COVID. So there's not going to be anybody in a physical location.
Do you have a website for that? How do I find that courthouse?
It would depend.
Or that court department?
It would depend on. It would be whatever county where she was living, where she came from.
Okay, so it would be in York County.
We get kids from all over the state, so.
Okay. So basically, because she's 17 and she doesn't want me to know anything about anything, you guys can just keep her here indefinitely.
Not indefinitely. There's a time. There's a time
What's the
limit.
time limit?
And well, so at some point, anytime somebody's here on an involuntary status, they do have there is a court date review where it's reviewed, and then when she is medically stable, there's a determination made at that point whether or not she is to be discharged and what that plan is.
How soon is her court date?
That I actually don't know. I don't know.
How do I find that out? Because that would be public record, right?
Well, because we're a psychiatric facility, it may not be.
It might not.
The outcome might be, and probate court is handled a little differently. It's not like general sessions where, because this isn't a legal matter that's going to end up like on her record as anything like that. It's just probate handles things a little differently. So I don't know if they will make that public knowledge or not. And because we're a psychiatric facility, that's part of the information I can't divulge. Is what, the results of that or what goes into the hearing. So.
Did you tell her I was here?
She's still not willing to release any information.
Okay.
So.
All right.
So
what are you guys going to do? You're going to keep her till she's 18? You're going to keep her till this court date review, but you don't know when the review is? So what am I supposed to do as her mom?
Yeah, so at this point, I know it's frustrating, and I feel bad because I wish I could tell you more information, because as a parent myself, I'd want to know, but unfortunately, the situation just is what it is. No, we won't keep her. Well, no, we won't keep her till she's 18. We're not a long-term facility.
Okay, that's good.
So, you know, what happens, typically what happens with anybody that comes here would be, even if they're involuntary, they're here for a period of time. Usually it's somewhere in the vicinity of a few weeks before before their hearing. And then
Okay.
at that point, there's a determination made whether or not that person, and I don't know, I'm not speaking about her case, but in general, a determination at that hearing is made as to whether or not they need to stay here because they're still not stable,
Okay.
or they're ready to be discharged and we have a plan in place and they go. So some people can stay for, you know, we've had some kids that because they weren't stable might have stayed for a month
Okay.
or more. But most of them stay somewhere in the neighborhood of that kind of 2 to 3 weeks typically.
And she's been here a week already?
Somewhere in that vicinity.
Okay.
I actually don't recall the exact time, but, so there'll be at that point, there'll be kind of plans made, and that, at that hearing, it'll be decided whether or not, you know, it makes sense for her to stay here, for any more length of time, if there's more treatment that we feel like needs to happen, if there are additional interventions, or if we're trying to figure out sometimes, you know, what the outpatient, what the follow-up's gonna look like when she leaves. We don't want anybody leaving here that doesn't have a plan.
A
in
safety
place.
plan afterward?
Right.
Okay.
And know that they've got good treatment providers that are gonna follow up, just so they're just not going home to nothing, you know?
Right.
That doesn't.
Well, she's not going home to the woman who put her here, that's for sure. So what can I do to work with you to have a treatment plan for her in California where I live? What can I do to that? She's not going back to this person, because this is the person who put her here.
Is that,
That's grandma.
okay.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. So do you guys, I mean, what can I do? What can I do? Do you want to send CPS to my home in Oakland? You know, to do a site visit there? What do we need to do?
You know, that's a good question. Let's do this. Let's
Okay.
do this. Let's make sure we have your good contact information, okay?
Which I left here,
Okay,
you know, when she got here a week ago.
okay.
And I haven't heard from any of you.
Well, again, we can't reach out to you, we can't provide.
Yeah,
you-
unless it's for money, which you're not gonna get from me, because I don't authorize her being here, period. But yeah, what is the next step so that she can have a stable, happy environment? Because she had 2 counselors before, right?
Did you?
Yes, she did. So I was here to support her through this, you know, her transitioning of moving out here. Okay, so I was all about the counseling. I'm in therapy myself. It's wonderful. I totally believe in it, and I want the best for her. But my mother is not going to take her to her appointments, and she's not going to. My mother is the one who took her away from her first therapist. Okay, did my mother tell you that?
She didn't tell, she hasn't told me anything.
No. Yeah. See, my daughter had an amazing therapist last year. My mother took her out of that therapy. Okay. Then she got another therapist this year, and you know, because of COVID, they were only doing online meetings, but that was at school, and I coordinated that with her school counselor to get her that. So I'm the one here trying to support my daughter's mental health, and my mother is the one trying to sabotage it. So you tell me what to do. Send the cops to my house in Oakland, do a site visit. Whoever these cops or CPS workers are, have them call me, because nobody seems to want to call me. Everyone has my number. I've left my number with
I will
everyone.
tell you, everything that comes down, and the law may be different in California. And that may be where this is going to get, it gets a little convoluted, because we have to abide by our state laws, so nobody's going to contact you because she isn't authorizing us to contact you. And because in South Carolina, 17 makes her has legal right to determine that, it makes it more difficult. Okay, so in some ways, what we would have to do in order to move this plan forward to get her back to you, we're gonna need to see if we can move her towards that to make that decision and say, okay, I'm willing to give that a try.
Okay.
So one of the things would be what would it look like for her to come home?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is that going to look like when, if she were to say, okay, great, what's it going to look like for her to come back to California to live with you? What are the expectations going to be?
If I have
What's
to
the
move to
treatment?
South or North Carolina, like now, I will do that. Do I have to get a residence here? Would that help?
I mean, probably not.
Okay.
One, it would take a long time, and it would still ultimately require her to say okay. Like that. Like I said, if we were in California, and I don't know California law, but if in California the age of consent is 18 and she isn't 18 yet, then we would be able to have a conversation and tell you exactly what's going on because she hadn't yet reached that point where she could deny it.
Mm-hmm.
And we could set up a plan and say, this is what you're going to end up having to do.
Right.
Even if you lived here,
Uh-huh.
she would still have to say, okay. We still wouldn't be able to
Okay.
say, listen, and this is what's going on, and let's talk
All right.
about a plan. So it's what is sort of handcuffing this situation right now. So
Right. Is her pride, which
it
is
would-
fine.
Yeah, it would require her kind of acknowledging, okay, I'm willing to talk about this and look at that. And I guess one of the things that we can try to do on our end is sort of present this as an option and you know, and let her know, look, we didn't divulge any information, but you're able to talk to us, you're able to tell us anything, okay? So you can give us information all day long. We just can't tell you a bunch about what's going on with her. And so we can go back to her and say, listen, we had a conversation with your mom, and here's what she'd like to have happen, and this is what she really wants to see, and would you be willing to start that conversation?
Uh-huh.
And then maybe she says, okay, we can get her to release, to at least start to have some conversations about what it would be like or what's going to be expected if she were to come back out to California.
And
So-
let her know if she needs me to get an apartment out here, then fine, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. If that makes it easier for her, if that's what it takes for her to finish. She's supposed to graduate in February. This is insanity. She's supposed to graduate in 3 months. She has enough credits. And she's going to be 18 next June. This is insane. So just tell her, if I need to get an apartment out here so she can get out of my mom's house and finish school, that is all I want for her. And by the time she finishes school, she'll be 18 anyway. So just, if you could just please tell her that. And then it's not about, tell her I'm not going to get mad at her. I just want her to finish school so she can move on with their life. Because once she's 18, she'll be a lot happier. You can tell she's smart. Like, she's awesome. She has goals. She has dreams. You know, she's not like clueless and hopeless. She's just stressed out living there. My mom is the reason I'm in therapy at 38 years old. And now, you know, she's the only person that you can discuss this with. This is crazy. So if you could just tell her that I'm here, all right, and whatever she needs to get that safety plan, like, let me be a part of that safety plan for her.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can certainly do that and pitch that option and see if we can kind of move her towards opening up a little bit. I can't make any promises.
I know you can't.
But we can certainly do that and offer that and see if that makes a difference.
All right. So basically, as far as we know, the average stay here for most children is 2 to 3 weeks up to 1 month. By then is when a court date review will happen in the probate court to determine whether or not she's still unsafe, dangerous to herself. If it is determined she's still dangerous to herself, what are the next steps after that? Does she go to a different facility or how does it work?
It could, if in some cases, if we had somebody that was significantly unstable, there were multiple kind of issues that weren't resolving here, or we anticipated would take a lot more time to, then there could be placement like that to a residential facility. That's not
A residential facility, what is that?
So you were talking about could she end up staying here till she's 18? And it's no, because we're more acute.
Okay.
A residential program would be one where she might stay for anywhere from 6 months to a year or more, depending on the type of programming it is and the type of placement.
Can y'all just send her to Job Corps? She'll be fine there. Like, can that be a safety option?
I mean,
I would rather her go to Job Corps than to go to some psychiatric residential program.
So, I mean, I think a lot of it's gonna have to be determined across, the treatment team, what her needs are, what is available, what are the options and things like that. Having the option to come back to you, that's one more option.
Yeah, and
okay?
if she freaking hates me that much, tell her she can come out and she can go to Job Corps. If she wants to be around other kids her age, if she's too smart and too grown to still be my daughter, if she hates me that much, I will make sure that she's somewhere else where she can still get education and be safe and try to have some sort of like hope. If she doesn't have any hope with me, I want to put her somewhere where she will have hope. But residential program, no, we're not doing that. No. She's not staying, no. She's not bipolar. She's not borderline. There's nothing wrong with her other than she has an anger problem because my psychotic mother abuses her the way my mom abuses me. Okay, that's it. My kid has never so much as even been suspended from school. Are you guys aware of that? Has she told you that?
I'm sure we have her school records. But
She has never even been suspended from school. She has never even had disciplinary problems at school. And yet she's in here with schizophrenic children. And y'all want to put her in a residential program with schizos? No.
Listen, back up just a second. I didn't say that's what the plan was going to be. You were asking me, could it be?
Could it be? But the
And I
thing
said-
is, if she's going to be manipulative because she doesn't want to come home and continue to say that she's suicidal, then we will have to move from an acute to a long-term program. If that's what she ends up telling y'all, she's manipulative. She got herself in here. She knows she could have called me and just come home, but she's prideful. Okay? So all I'm saying is the long-term residential program, that can't be an option. And if so, where is that? What does that mean? Is that a foster family? What is that?
If it was there are a couple of different or several different programs around the state, and there's even some that are out of state that we look at that.
Out of
That
state?
it's not. It probably wouldn't end up being that. I'm giving you options. I'm not telling you that's what's happening.
I understand
Okay,
the difference between hypothetical. I'm asking you a hypothetical question.
Yeah.
You're saying that a kid that has never had behavioral problems before, a kid that has never done anything wrong, a kid that I've never had a problem with other than the basic mom-daughter BS. You're telling me you can keep her for up to a month without my consent, and then you can put her in a long-term program without my consent based on what comes out of her mouth?
I'm telling you that based on all the information gathered, including what you give us, is what any kind of plan's based on. So I'm not telling you that yes, we could do that just because we wanted to. No, we couldn't put her in a residential program if she doesn't meet any criteria to do that. Okay.
Do you have any?
What you asked me?
Yes.
What you asked me was, what are the other options and what does a residential placement look like? So I'm just telling you what a residential placement looks like. I don't know that she even meets the criteria to do a residential. I'm just telling you that you asked what would happen if she wasn't stable at this hearing. Yes, if something came up, let's just hypothetically, let's just pretend that tomorrow, she were to tell us, hey, and I'm not saying she's doing it, but what if she came back and said, hey, I'm hearing people talk to me that aren't really there, okay? So, okay, that's a whole new symptom. That's something else that we've got to address. Then that would probably mean, okay, we need to look at doing something different, changing her treatment, and it could include lots of different options to try to give her the best opportunity to get healthy again, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if those kinds of things don't happen, then chances are we're not looking at any kind of longer term residential. What we're probably looking at is what makes sense in terms of what's out in the community and how do we put all the resources together to give her the best opportunity to walk out of here and continue to kind of progress, like you said, whether it's Job Corps or whether it's coming back to live with you in California or doing something like that.
She has counselors that want to help her.
Those are, so that's really helpful. And so I would be more inclined to want to go in that direction. We typically don't want to try to send somebody to a residential program, and we only look at that when there are issues that would mean for her to go back out, if she wouldn't be able to be as successful because her issues have continued to either escalate and get worse, or they haven't really, it's a longer term. We anticipate that the treatment is going to be a lot longer term. Based on what you're telling me, somebody that's not had that significant of a history, somebody that's not exhibiting some of the same symptoms like that,
Ever.
would likely not end up in that direction. But it's all going to be based on what the treatment team, and there's a whole team of people, and we're collecting information from not.
What
just
does the
she's
treatment
saying.
team consist of?
So the treatment team's going to consist of, so Ms. Cedar is her social worker.
Okay.
She's got a psychiatrist that sees her.
Okay.
We've got
And is the psychiatrist prescribing her any medication right now?
I don't know, and actually that would be protected information.
Again,
I
okay.
couldn't give you.
All right, that's
but
fine.
I actually don't know.
All right, so we got a social worker, a
So,
psychiatrist.
Social worker and psychiatrist are the two main people, but then we have nursing staff that are around her. We have counselors that are working with her both individually and.
So she's
in
got
groups.
individual and group?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
She's got, we've got a chaplain on staff that does groups with them and is available to them.
Is she seeing her? Well, you can't tell me if she's seeing the chaplain or not.
He's doing, he does groups across all of
Okay.
our programming, so I can tell you that she has interacted with him. Because
Okay.
he interacts with everybody.
Okay. All right.
Anybody that I missed from?
I think activity therapy.
Oh, yeah.
Activity
that's right,
therapy?
Yeah,
How did I miss them?
I can't think of anybody else.
Can I at least see what these rooms look like? I mean, I don't even know what kind of bed my kid is sleeping in right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't take you to the lodge, and I don't have an.
Do you have an empty room
I
that
don't
I
have
can at
any.
least see how big it is?
I don't have
Is
an
she
empty-
sharing a room with any other children?
I don't believe she is. Most of our rooms are singles.
Okay.
We have a few in different places. I can sort of describe the general layout, so.
I just want to know if it's clean. You can describe it all you want. I want to see it with my own two eyes to see if it's
So,
clean.
I mean, I can tell you, it's clean. It's not her room at home, okay? So it is clean though.
All
But
right.
it's sparsely furnished because we have to protect against kids that may be here to harm themselves or things like that. So it has, sparse furnishings in it. She's got a little wardrobe for her clothes and her bed. They share a bathroom. There's a bathroom for about.
I think there's 4 bathrooms altogether.
Yeah, so there's like little pods within their area where the bedrooms are, and then there's a central kind of day area where they can kind of come out and hang out, watch TV.
And what's the age of the oldest resident in that pod?
Her?
She's the oldest, actually.
17's going to be the oldest. Once most kids turn 8, if somebody were to come to us or we would get a referral at 18, in most cases we're going to actually put that individual in one of our adult populations. So 17 is typically the oldest that we take.
Okay.
There would be some maybe some odd, you know, if you had a 18-year-old that had just recently turned 18, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Youngest so in the area where she is, the youngest is gonna be 13, and the oldest is gonna be 17. We do have
All
a
right.
section.
All
for
right, so
younger
she's with
but
kids.
But she's with kids her own age.
And there's
She's
no,
with all girls.
all girls, okay. All right.
We don't mix the genders.
All right, good, good.
In fact, they're behind, the girls are in a separate space that is behind 2 sets of doors.
Okay.
For just the way it works out, but it's added security. So,
Okay, good. All right, well, that makes me feel a little bit better.
yeah. And we always have, so just so you know, so we always have nursing staff present 24 hours a day. We have physicians present 24 hours a day. We have public safety 24 hours a day in case anything were to happen. We have other, what we call BHAs or behavioral health assistants, which are part of the nursing staff that are physically on the unit with her. We usually have at least two on each unit to just to kind of help manage the milieu and work with the kids a little bit, but make sure that everybody's okay and being taken care of and attending to their daily needs and things like that. Every now and then we may bring an additional person in to cover an observation if we needed some extra help for any reason like that. So there's lots of staff that are always available, and then you've got the social workers, the counselors, the activity therapists, the chaplain. We do have a psychologist on staff also that sees people as needed. So there are lots of folks that are then kind of floating throughout the building and the unit that she encounters and interacts with.
Okay,
Okay?
all right.
What other questions can I answer? So
I don't, go ahead.
The more questions that I answer for you, I think the better off you're gonna feel, at least to some degree. What else can I tell you about what we do that'll make you feel a little bit better?
It's really nothing at this point. If she won't consent to, I mean, the crazy thing, I don't even know if she's here. I don't even know why she's here. Nobody will tell me.
Yeah, we can't.
Nobody. I understand that. Okay. Just take my information. Okay. And as soon as she opens up, tell me what the next steps are and how I can help and be supportive.
We absolutely.
All right. Can I write, do you have a piece of paper? I'll write it all down. You can also why don't you take a photocopy of my ID and throw it in her file too?
Okay. Can you grab a piece of paper back?
Yeah.
Back there? Thank you. I know it's frustrating. I wish I could have a different conversation.
I understand. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
This is unfortunately comes up periodically, because, and I'll tell you what's even a little, so I've lived here for 30 years. and,
97.1?
At 17, in the state, yeah, at 17, a kid has the right to run away, basically leave their house. But if they come back, the parent has to take them back in. But they can't make them stay. They can still choose to leave.
So, okay, so this is exactly what my cousin told me last night. He says out here in Carolina, kids are basically emancipated adults at 17. So she can do what she wants.
Essentially.
All right, that's
You're making a
fine.
copy of your license right now.
Okay, I'll put my number. I'm gonna give you 2 numbers, okay, to contact
Are you
me.
gonna stay here or are you heading back to California?
I mean, I do have to go back at some point. I was hoping I could, I'd be willing to hang around a couple of weeks on the East Coast to be here. You know what I mean? To be here to come up with that safety plan with you guys.
Okay.
I would love to. But I do have to. I do have to go back at some point.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so we'll see what we can do. See if we can move the needle a little bit with her in the next couple of days, and hopefully get some movement there. Do you know at this point when were you planning on going?
I have a doctor's appointment in Oakland on January 3rd, so I would like to go back by January 3rd for myself. But if I have to cancel it and reschedule it, I will.
Okay. Well, so you would be local over the course, all through the holidays?
Yes, if I had, absolutely.
Okay.
I will, yes, absolutely.
That'd be good for us to know so that then we can talk to her about,
That's my email too.
here's a potential.
Oh, sorry. And I think we need the papers back that had a signature spot on them
Okay.
for the admissions office to have.
Okay.
And I you wrote on the first one, so.
Well, this is a frequently asked question, so I should be able to keep that. So you need all these back?
Yes, I can just take those back from you.
You can take them back from me. Can you make photocopies?
Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah, is it just,
I want photocopies of all of this. All of this. I want photocopies of all of this. And if I choose to sign it, then I will either drive back and give it to you, or I will fax it to you, or I will email it to you. This is ridiculous, so I'm not consenting to anything.
so she's staying with your mom, she's been with your mom?
It would be since last summer or the summer before, I think.
So.
Thank you.
So was there was there any shift in guardianship or anything like that officially with
I'm the custodial parent, but I only gave her guardianship so she can enroll her in school. I don't recall giving her guardianship. I need to find the affidavit. I don't recall giving her guardianship to make any medical decisions. So now I'm really pissed about it.
Well,
But-
I don't know at this point, to be honest.
I don't even, go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know if by the guardianship it may already be granted in that, because if she's living here full time and she's the full time kind of guardian and it sort of assumes custodial
Right.
parent, that it may be an implied kind of thing. But certainly, you can look into it and see what what you find out. But I just was curious if she, so she had authorization to like sign up for school and do things like that. Okay. I just wasn't sure if there was an official, if you had done anything official, or if you have an affidavit where you kind of signed over and said she has the authority to do.
And also within that affidavit, it says that I have the right to get my kid back whenever I want.
Right.
So that's the other part. I can terminate that guardianship at any moment for any reason. I don't even have to have a reason, which is why this is so frustrating. But you see, now that the police have been involved, it's out of, you guys can't even show me a court order or anything, So, yeah, I know. All right. So thank you. Just please keep in touch and don't be afraid to reach out. And if you have any questions about, her childhood, her relationship with her father, or what it was like living with me, or anything to give you better context to help my kid, please call me. Please call me, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. No. No, bitch, you cannot get those papers back. Fuck. All right. Well, that's that. This was fucking pointless. Let me drive. Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right. All right, so let me show you how much they charge. They charged $1,231 per day. I ain't fucking paying this shit. Fuck that. My fucking little brat wants to stay here. She can fucking stay here. Anyway, I've got people to talk to who can better look at this paperwork and understand it than I can. But just deal with it later. I'll let you guys know how it turns out.